We haven't talked about tech on the channel in a very long time.
Nah.
A big reason for that is because you're not
a tech guy. I got
consumer tech as I am.
I got really into it in like college and everything, but then once I started buying everything and realizing that I needed to spend money on other things, I'm like, I can't be constantly worried about this.
Yeah.
But having said that, I did just buy new headphones.
Did you buy them or were they a gift?
It was a gift. Today's my birthday.
Happy birthday, Brendan!
Yay!
Yay! We're going to do that in the next recording we do too, because we're doing that right after this.
It's also my birthday. Yay!
Yeah. All right, hold on.
Your personal review? When do those come out? Because I don't know.
These?
They're new to
this
me.
was about a year ago.
Okay.
Not bad.
No?
You've had them for a couple hours. You've used them a little bit.
I listened to a quarter of a song. The noise canceling was startling how good it worked compared to my old one, but to be fair, I had the last generation of those, and they were kind of old. I also dropped them in water, so they weren't really up to par anymore. What?
I was wondering where my AirPods are.
Oh.
Although I can't open mine because yours are nice and new and mine are yellow.
Yeah. I mean, you can get my other old one to make it symmetrical.
No, that's gross.
Okay.
It's better with Goku Black.
Yes.
They can't even see it because we're not doing the wide angle today.
So
basically what we're doing today...
What do you mean? What the fuck? Why?
Because it's better to have these angles better
Okay.
than to have the wide angle that I use for like... We record it the entire time, but we only use it for maybe 10 minutes.
Couldn't you have put it like right there and then did like half zoom?
That's not the point. Okay. Focus.
Okay.
Today we're talking the final leaks. Samsung Galaxy Unpacked is in a couple days, and Apple has a ton of stuff that's rumored to come out within the next month or two. We're just going to run through both because you're the Samsung guy.
Yeah.
I'm the Apple guy. And I say this every year, every time that we talk about leaks, because it's managed to be the last couple of years. The only reason we're talking about them is because I'm probably going to buy a couple of things that come out.
Okay.
Ready?
Well,
we'll start Samsung.
Yeah.
Because Samsung is confirmed versus rumors.
Okay. Well, based on what you said, there is something...
Ooh, what?
Ooh, the watch. That does look nice.
Oh, I know. Okay, so...
I might actually have to buy that.
We'll start with... We'll do the folding stuff, because you don't care about folding stuff. I would love to, but until something runs iOS on it, I'm not going to be able to.
Okay, I'm going to talk shit about it for a second then. I don't care for it. The technology it uses is really cool and could possibly be revolutionary if we use it in another way. I don't need my phone to collapse and fold and do whatever like it did back in 2008 or whenever the fuck it was.
The flip, it's clamshell versus, I call it hot dog and hamburger.
Yeah.
Hot dog, hamburger.
The book versus the like Motorola Razr. Just fucking,
See, but that's one thing, right? Have you seen what the Razr Plus looks like?
You still make those?
Well, no. So remember a couple years ago, we looked at when the Razr
Oh my
was
god,
first
they
announced.
made a flip phone too. Again.
They made one. Now there's 4 of them. The new one looks pretty fucking good.
Who's buying them? I can't even find those.
Not a lot of people.
Where are they selling them?
The internet.
Black market.
But the prices are getting better. So initially it was, especially with the Fold, like the Galaxy Fold, initially it was like $2,200, and now it's come down to like $1,500-$1,600. Still a lot of money for a phone.
That is a lot of fucking money.
But it also means that the Flip has gone from like $1,500 to now it's a regular price phone.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
No, it's really early, but this is only the flip phones because I am probably going to need a new phone. But I think Samsung's main thing for their like regular phones is like February usually, and the phone comes out in April.
Yeah.
So when that comes up, I'll probably be getting a new one.
Awesome. We can talk about it when it comes up.
Oh yeah.
Supposedly, it's gonna look the fucking same.
But like, I love this phone.
21 Ultra is a great phone.
It's a great phone.
Aesthetically speaking, it's the best one they've made in a while.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so I want to mention that real quick. Isaiah just got the
22,
the new one.
23.
And it's exactly the same looking as far as aesthetic, except it's a bit harder on the angles.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. It's too bricky, and I like that it's round. And I think that they're just changing stuff in order to be like, we have a new one. Like I don't.
Well, it's
kind of like cars.
Cosmetically speaking, it's
yes,
exactly.
Where
It's kind of like. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yes, I understand that every year there's upgrades in them and everything where you. Yeah, where you just want to like get like, oh, it's got a better processor, it's got better cameras, it's got whatever.
Yes.
But like, kind of have this idea as like consumers, just like, oh, it looks the same, I'm not gonna buy it.
Exactly.
But for me, I want it to look the same. You got it to a point where I'm genuinely very happy with the design.
Well, see,
so just leave it alone and just make it better.
The problem is Apple's done that forever, right? When it comes to their phones, if you look at probably from the iPhone 6 until the iPhone 10. Cosmetically, it all looked the exact same. And that's what became like the staple or the vision or what people knew them for was the look of the phone. Then you had from the iPhone 10 to about the 11 Pro, which was only like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
The same thing where the screen had the notch and whatever. Now it's known as just the 3-camera layout.
Okay.
And it just keeps getting bigger. But it's the look that people recognize to grab you. That is why last year Samsung did a swap from there to the Rings cameras. And I don't know if you've seen the difference between the 22 and the 23. It's the phone itself has gotten a little thicker.
Phone, I didn't notice it got thicker, but that is the only thing I will say is the cameras that they do have on Isaiah's, they have like these little metal rings going around, and that aesthetically I actually do like better.
Yeah.
But everything, so there's give and take with it. But
I can tell you the next one's going to look probably similar to Isaiah's because they'll probably do what Apple does, a 3, 4, 5 year cycle.
Okay.
Because then it's a certain look that grabs you. A lot of Android phones are doing that now. Where some of them, especially like the mid-range cheaper ones, are going to be like, oh man, look at our cool look. This camera, it covers the whole thing. But now it's like they have a certain look for them.
I'm going to get a little sidetracked here.
Oh no. Consumerism.
If Steve Jobs was still alive,
yes,
do you think the iPhones would look drastically different just because he pushes innovation and stuff like that? Or do you think it would still be the same thing?
I think if Steve Jobs was still around, I've never done any kind of research into him because I don't see him as like some prophet like some people do.
No, but after like the movies and stuff and everything, he seemed just like, no, it's not like he was very much just like, it's got to be cool.
I think it, for the most simplistic example, I don't think they ever would have gone rounded. I think the iPhones would have always been square.
Okay.
And they probably would not have gotten or ballooned to as big as they have. And it would have stayed simple. Now, years ago, it was Apple made one phone. Then it was, we're going to make two because some people like a bigger screen. Now it's, every year there's a new SE for the cheaper people. There's the 15 or the 14 and the 14 Plus. That way there's two different sizes.
Yeah.
The 14 Pro, 14 Pro Max. You have 5 different phones, plus you hang on to 2 generations prior, which means you hang on to 2 more per one. So at any given moment, Apple sells 9 different phones. If Steve Jobs was still around, it would be maybe 1 or 2.
That's actually kind of normal though, because like we look at like Samsung and everything, and
because companies like Samsung are the ones that push that.
But like
Samsung also puts out like fucking 40 phones a year.
That's what I'm saying, and you don't even know what half of them are. And that was the other thing I wanted to bring up. Last time we talked about tech and everything, it was like 3-4 years ago. Really, Google was also a big name in it. Yeah, I haven't heard anything, and I'm assuming the Pixel's still around, but is that like just gone out the window? Like, does no one really care though?
People care more about Pixels now than they used to. I'm gonna use the iPad now instead of the wide angle. I'm just gonna, if we have something to bring up and you can't see it, I'm just gonna type it here.
Okay. Is it gonna be on the green screen as well for the viewers?
That's a great idea.
Cool.
It started really. So, Google's a special case because Google went. The first 3 were all, camera, this is all it is. It's they own Android, so their whole goal is to have the most simplistic version of Android, and it's the most user-friendly.
Hold on, what? Google owns Android, not Samsung.
No.
Yet Samsung's Android
Samsung
works.
is the most known company.
How does it feel like it works better?
Doesn't.
Oh.
It's what people are used to.
Okay.
If you swapped over to a Pixel, Pixels have tons of bugs. I can't say that they're perfect or better than Samsung in any way. But if you swapped over to a Pixel, you'd notice a difference, but it works fundamentally the same.
Okay, so I'm...
Basically, what I was saying.
Yeah.
Google went through this thing where their first 3 years, it was iffy because you're a new phone into the market. The 4 was a bomb. The 5 was during the pandemic, and they wanted to cover the mid-range, so it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
The 6 is where they really tried to reinvent. Yeah, it's something like
this. That thing. Yeah, I didn't like that.
Candy bar.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I love the candy bar. But now you see, remember I told you that they want to keep a certain aesthetic?
Yeah.
Keyboard doesn't want to come back up. Stop it!
Well, while you're Googling that, I want to ask you a question about my phone. Yeah. It didn't happen for like the first 2 years I had this phone, but then out of nowhere it happened, and I don't know if it's a virus or if it's just whatever. It downloads its own app once a week now, and it goes, Samsung apps, like this one's like for you to try out, and it just forces me to download it?
That is not necessarily a big thing in the US because we mainly focus on Google and Samsung, but ads or like pre-downloaded or auto-downloaded advertisements are a huge thing in Android.
It didn't used to happen though. It just came out of nowhere. And then now whenever my phone updates, it goes, here, you should try out these apps, and it requires me to select 3, and then I have to uninstall them.
Yeah. That's how they make money.
It's ridiculous. And you know what the big one always is? TikTok. It just really wants me to install TikTok.
It does.
Which, to be fair, it is an Asian-based company trying to get me to download an Asian-based app, so
Pixel
it makes sense.
7 Pro. You see how they keep the candy bar up top, but it looks a little different?
I don't know if I like it better or worse.
I think, now that they've settled into the aesthetic, it looks much better.
Okay.
But this is what I mean. You had someone like Google. Now you have leaks of the 8, where like actual videos come out. 8. They change a little bit, but you're still like, oh, that looks like a Google phone.
Yeah.
Compared to, I mean, if you looked at a Pixel like Pixel 4, it's all the same shit of just the camera and whatever, but I had a Pixel 4. Doesn't look anything fucking like it.
No, that looks more like an iPhone mixed with an Android. Yeah. It's weird.
Google is the iPhone of Android. So
back to
the leaks. Yes.
Yes.
You got a Flip 5.
The Flip. There's 5 of them already?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, 2 of them came out in 1 year.
Oh, yeah. I remember when they announced that. I'm like, this is crazy, but I don't want it.
No.
And they're like, it's $4,000. I'm like, I really don't want it.
Well, now it's $1,000, just like
every other phone.
Actually cheaper than your phone. The Ultras are like $1,200.
Yeah.
Besides the Flip, we have what we were just talking about, your watch.
The watch.
Because I was talking about, before we were recording, how a smartwatch is the fucking best thing on the planet. And I totally don't mind buying one every year because you use it 24/7.
I'm not a big accessories guy.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like the watch, and I wouldn't mind getting back into it, but my whole thing was the dial. And you keep saying that they didn't get rid of the dial, but
they did. It was like for a year or two.
But I remember they came out with the first gen or whatever, and it had the dial, and that's the one I bought because I was super excited about it. But I didn't even buy it.
4. This is going to be the 6th one. But you bought.
I bought it when I was still working at.
Yeah, it had to be the 3 or the 4.
The club, so it was like 5 years ago.
It was not 5 years ago.
I'm telling
you bought it right before the pandemic hit.
No, I had it way longer than that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
It couldn't have been older than the 3.
I think I had the 2. I'm pretty sure I had the 2.
I don't believe it. Regardless.
When did they come up with the Active?
I don't remember.
Because that was
that was when the podcast was going.
That was when
that was 2019.
I think I had it at the beginning. So I'm going to go 2018, 2019. So that's when I got it.
The watch, 3 or 4.
So probably the 3, and then they got rid of it with the 4, and I'm assuming they got rid of it with the 5 as well.
Yes. There was one, and then there was a bigger one.
And now this one has the dial back again, and that gets me really excited, and it looks like a clean watch.
Oh, you know what? It might have been around with the 4 or the 5, because they had one that was called the Galaxy Watch Classic, and that had the dial.
But yeah, and I think people just really, because it's more of a watch. Like Apple has that weird, round, clean everything.
Yeah.
And this is just a real watch. The only thing I don't like about it is those rubber bands that come with it. When you're sweating, are terrible.
Yeah.
So I would need to get a new one of them, but like I am kind of excited for this. Do they know how much? I don't know anything about smartwatches. I'm looking at it's got a 1.47 inch OLED. Is that big, small? Like what is that?
Regular.
Okay. And it also has. It's a weird resolution to have 432.
Yeah, well, it's a tiny thing on your list.
But
I don't know what the price point is.
Anything? Yeah, I'm trying to find that and I can't find anything. Wait, this is the Watch 6 Classic as well. So this isn't even the regular one.
So
so they have the Classic. I love that.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to buy the same way that anybody else does, where it's now the regular watch is just the slim one that everybody's going to buy. Mm-hmm. And if you're looking for a specific version, the Classic is the more tailored.
Do you know when this comes out? Like you said that this is like leaks or confirmations. When's the actual event?
These are literal promotion leaks. So these are the photos leaked directly from Samsung's website. These will literally be.
When's the actual event though?
The 26th
of
next week.
Oh shit. Okay.
Besides the watch, you keep scrolling down. You have the Flip. You have like the literal revealed. Or like what I was saying from Samsung's website.
Yeah.
You got the Flip. It looks pretty good. The screen, everybody's complaining right now about flip phones, how the outer screen is shit.
Yeah.
But now it's between them and Motorola. It's gotten gigantic.
Okay. So
what?
I just found out the price of the watch, but it's in euros, so I don't know what the conversion is. Are you looking up a conversion thing?
How much?
449.
500.
500?
Yep.
For a watch?
Yep.
That's great. I mean, I guess it's
the Apple
Watch.
If you go cheaper, the Apple Watch is $299. If you want the regular one, it's around $400. And if you want the Ultra, which has a 2-day battery life and is gigantic and super rugged, it's $800.
So this is what I want to talk about then with this pricing. You say you're fine buying that every year.
I don't know about Samsung.
Okay, but what your watches, what is your price range? Because that's what I'm talking about. Like, how much are those?
This is different. I bought this from Costco.
Okay.
Costco was pending it because nobody wanted the green color. I left the green band on the green screen again. My wrist is floating. No, by the time it was pending and on sale, it was like $260. Regular price is like $430, $450.
Okay. You buy that every year.
I said I would be, it makes sense to me. If I had the disposable income, I would buy the bigger one. In my personal experience, I've had 4 of these watches in the last 8 years.
That price is like buying an Xbox yearly.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You wear it 24/7. It doesn't. I don't take out my phone 90% of the time because it's all on my wrist. I can answer my texts, my calls, my fitness, my activities, my steps, anything and everything. I wear this 24/7. And the only reason
Can you
I
shower
say
with it?
no.
Okay.
That's when you let it charge. I'm saying I don't mind buying another one every year because if I'm going to use it 24/7, you think about it, it's never really turned off. You're constantly charging it. The battery degrades rapidly because you wear it every day, especially if you're using like a much more hands-on job. Scratches, cracks, scuffs, whatever it is, it makes sense that if you wear it 24/7, after a year, a little over a year, that shit is demolished.
Yeah.
If you wait any longer, you go to trade it in or something, it's worth nothing. At that point, if Apple goes, oh, we're putting out a new one and mine's pretty rough, and they're like, we'll give you $100 for it, that's better to me than going, all right, now I got to recycle it and then drop a full 400.
Yeah.
If you splurge, because you can get more rugged versions. Rugged version is going to cost you another $300, but it's either stainless steel or titanium. That's different. That battery's better. Like if you bought the Ultra, it's made of titanium, it has cellular, it's about $800.
Mm-hmm.
That, even if you let the battery degrade over a year and say it's cut itself 40%, it's still better battery life than buying a regular Apple Watch. It's certain scenarios are different. If I bought the cheapest watch, that makes sense to buy year over year.
Okay.
Any of the other ones, it depends on the case, but yearly it makes sense to me.
Okay. I actually just thought of something else. Sorry. Because I haven't talked about tech in like months, so I know this is supposed to be about like these things coming out, but like I have so many questions. Google Homes and like Alexas and things like that.
Oh, they've gotten so much worse.
Okay. So they come out with new ones still.
Yeah.
Do they actually have any new things in them?
Not necessarily. It's higher quality speakers. It's a better chip so it can think faster with a harder tasks that you're trying to throw them into.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily anything different. The only people I would say are doing something different are Apple, and that's not because they're reinventing the wheel. It's because they haven't done them yet. So if Apple comes out tomorrow and goes, oh, we made a HomePod with a screen, you're like, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
Because they've never done that before. Though Google and Amazon have been doing it for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Not going to say it's better, but it makes sense to buy because it's never existed.
Okay. Also, Samsung, the Bixby
sucks. That's why they got rid of it.
No, I still have it.
But you also have Google Assistant, right?
I don't know. I always turn it off.
Yeah.
Because I don't like it. You've had Apple for years, so you've been using Siri for like a decade now. It's never really been something I needed because like also like we grew up like texting and stuff like that like as like we were getting older, so like I could just Google shit in like a tenth of a second. Yeah. I don't really need to be like, hey, do this, hey, do whatever. Especially if you also have like a watch.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
You don't need to automate everything because it also goes so quick.
Yeah.
Saying it is slower sometimes than just hitting the button.
Well, it depends. If you're talking about
sometimes,
saying, if you want to talk about smart homes and things, it's to me it's always made the most sense for me, right? Just looking at our situation, we in our little apartment we have 1, 2, 3, 4 smart bulbs, and then we have 3 cameras in here to watch the pets when we're gone.
Yeah,
and the cameras are plugged into smart bulbs because you can't like automate things with Apple shit because Apple Home sucks still.
Okay.
That makes sense to me because I can say, hey, whatever, to turn things on and off, but I can also set automations. So by the time I get down the street, if the phone realizes that I'm home, it turns off the cameras and turns on the lights by the time I walk through the door.
Okay.
And then when I leave, it does the same thing.
You know what's... Say that for the next episode, but I got to remember to write that down.
We talk about AI.
It's not AI, it's technology, but it kind of goes... I'm going to mention it here because I feel like it might work better. Okay. I heard this on another podcast. I don't know anything about it, but I heard that Amazon locked a guy out of his house because of like reasons I don't know what, but like
something to do with the smart home shit. But that's the problem.
That's what like
there's a limit to what you should automate because there's so you depend like even for me, it's if the Wi-Fi is turned off, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know how to turn on these lights right now because I don't use it.
But like I remember, like that's crazy. Like I remember being a child and being like, oh, the power's out. Well, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah.
I have a Game Boy. And then as you got older, the power's out. Well, I still have my smartphone. Well, there's no Wi-Fi. Well, I have a little bit of data. I can do kind of some things. Yeah. Whatever. And now it's just like I have unlimited data. I got whatever. The power's out. Okay, big fucking whoop. Yeah. It's whatever. But then everything else in your house, you're still locked in this like little thing because little the rest of your house, even with all the technology we have, the moment you lose power, it's just gone.
Yeah.
So, and then like, what happens if you do that? Like, I didn't even think about that. If you have a smart home and you lose power because of like a hurricane or something like that, and you're inside and you have like say the door's locked, can you not get out? Are you trapped in your home?
No, there's a lot of bypasses deliberately for situations like that. It just depends on the company.
Okay.
So,
sorry.
Back to the Unpacked. No, because you're right. There's a lot of consumer shit to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's especially since we don't talk about, even outside of the podcast, we rarely talk about it. It makes sense to delve into.
Yeah, well, like, I always walk into, like, Best Buy, and I'm like, ooh, what do they have that's new and everything? And we used to walk in, like, every couple months and be like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? And lately I've been
we
walking...
could totally do that before the movie.
But I'm saying I walk in now, and there's not a whole lot that looks different. Like, maybe they're upgraded things, but it seems like the cool new technology of, like, smart whatever, we just kind of,
a lot of it has slowed down.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else Samsung, or do you just want to jump into Apple?
It's the Fold, it's the Flip, and it's the Watch.
Okay.
Which is fine, because they also have, like, two.
Wait, what's the difference between
the
the Fold and the Flip?
Yes. Hot dog, hamburger.
How are they still making the Fold? Like, that was dumb when I saw it. Like, the first...
It's just gotten stronger and better. Now there's no gap in between, so it can close shut completely. It's better battery life.
How well is that really selling? I've never seen anyone actually have one.
Where I work,
yeah,
you see them very often.
Really?
It's surprising.
Okay.
And it's every year there's more people.
Is it older people, or is
No, it's everybody.
Really?
Yes, everybody, all walks of life, all races. You see some people come in and they have it. Some people have it unfolded and they're just like doing shit.
Okay.
So Apple stuff.
Yes.
For context, Apple has released a ton of stuff this year, and we're just going to go through the rest of their leaks to see what's coming out. And because I'm the Apple guy, I'm going to talk about what I'm going to buy and what I won't buy.
Go for it.
Okay. So first, you got new Macs. Apple, a couple years ago, they did the transition. Now they make their own chips, so they don't use Intel anymore.
How...
You take...
you just open up a whole new can of worms.
On ARM. It's chips on ARM.
What's the quality? Because I know, like, AMD is also, like, falling behind Intel and everything now and everything. So,
well,
like...
Intel, it depends on what you look at. If you're talking CPU, it depends on optimization and everything, too.
Yeah.
It's been maybe 3 years now that Apple's been doing it, so the optimization's gotten a lot better. But it's really like if you're going to use Logic or Final Cut or Apple-based programs... CPU-wise, I would say it's about on par or maybe a little less than Intel's strongest, craziest stuff. The difference is Apple, the longevity and the support is much better than something else. Like, I'm not going to have to update drivers and things if I have to have this CPU and this GPU and this motherboard and whatever. It's just I turn, like my Mac Studio. Yeah. That's running an M1 Max, and that's Apple's chip from over a year and a half ago. And I'm not going to upgrade unless we, like, hit it big. I'm not going to upgrade that for another 3 or 4 years because
no, but that's what I would do with a normal. Like, I bought my computer like 4 years ago now, and I'm still not upgrading it. But it is just starting to, like, it's not running slow or anything. But it's kind of also because I play like games on it and shit. Like, I used to play like Rainbow Six Siege at like 160 frames.
Phenomenal.
And like now it's just
but I can't game on that.
Yeah.
GPU wise for Apple, they have crazy claims where they're like, this is better than like 5 afterburner cards put together. It's not.
Yeah.
It's cool. In very specific situations and using their programs.
And that's the problem. It's the same thing that Apple has always done. My dad just bought a new iPhone.
Yeah.
He's just like, they got rid of the plug because they wanted to help the environment, but I still need to buy the plug.
Brick?
Yeah.
Well, no, because ideally you're someone who, if you're going to buy like an iPhone, you're someone who's had an iPhone before, or if you had a Galaxy before that, it's the same brick.
No, but I think he said they didn't even give him like a wire. Like,
no, they give you the wire.
Okay, he was just like, yeah, I don't have anything now, so now I got to buy a new one and everything. They're
but
like,
you don't need. See, but that's the thing that people don't understand. I had somebody come into my job the other day,
yeah,
and
but
they
the
were
bricks
like,
also get upgraded.
They do get upgraded, but you don't need a new one. It still charges it.
Yeah, but if you want it to charge faster and be up to par with,
but how many people know about how fast a phone charges?
Not too many.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. If you get the brick with the phone that you purchased, it works better, and you're like, oh yeah, this is charging quick. That's part of what they advertise and everything. But then if you're using the old one, you're like, this isn't really doing
Apple
the same.
doesn't advertise fast charging like a lot of these Android companies do. No.
Oh. Does it charge fast?
It charges faster, 25 watts, but compared to Android phones that some are doing like 100 plus.
How long does it take your phone to charge? Because like wirelessly, still, my phone like takes about like 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours? That's probably because of the case.
Wirelessly?
MagSafe? No, it's maybe...
When plugged in, it's like an hour and 12 minutes.
Yeah. Wired plug, it's maybe an hour.
Yeah.
Wireless on the MagSafe, because MagSafe is 15 watts, it's hour and a half.
It's also because it's older, so like when I first got it, I think it was like... But
it's also, you still have that old stand?
I got the double pad.
You got the new one?
I think it's like 2 or 3 years old now.
You can get faster wireless chargers.
I don't know if they make... I also like buying the Samsung brand one because I feel like that works better with my thing.
Which makes sense, yes.
I also haven't really seen anything like that.
There's not too many.
Yeah,
if you want like real nice, high quality ones, you're best going through the brand.
Yeah.
Just because it's optimization, and sometimes they can put chips in them and shit.
But that's what I'm saying. The one that I purchased, I haven't really been up to date on technology, like I said before, but I haven't really seen a new one of them anywhere.
There's nothing crazy, unless you want to go through specific brands. Apple has MagSafe, so it's like faster wireless charging.
I'm talking about the Samsung one. Like, I haven't seen a newer version of that pad.
Not that I've seen.
Okay.
The only people that are like pushing wireless charging standards is like OnePlus, and that was a couple years ago. Where they were like, oh, we have like 60-watt wireless charging, but you have to buy our charger and our stand and our phone. Otherwise, it doesn't work. You're like,
It doesn't fucking help me.
So, Apple, new Macs. They moved the chip. The CPU, I'd say, is very, very good. Almost the best. GPU, mid, depending on the game you want to play and what you're doing. Battery life is probably the biggest thing. They're like the longest lasting batteries in any laptops you can really think of. Because the chip is so efficient when it comes to power. Like, that's the big thing. My CPU and my GPU aren't as strong as like some of the top-notch Intel and NVIDIA stuff, but the power usage is probably like 5% compared to something like a 4090.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing. But they have new stuff coming out. Supposedly there's an iMac, which is the all-in-one. Just a new chip refresh on the inside, and maybe a bigger screen. I don't know who actually buys an iMac. I don't know who actually buys an all-in-one. If anything, I'd buy a desktop or a laptop. Then you can customize it. iPads, iPad mini. Supposedly it's getting a refresh. Just a chip refresh.
Okay.
Fucking love the iPad
Only
mini.
one camera.
Yeah. What's an iPad?
So? How many cameras does the Fold have?
3.
How big is the Fold compared to that? Like one unfolded.
A little smaller.
So like that's like you could use it for the same purposes. It's the whole point of it and everything.
Exactly.
Okay.
You have 2 in 1. iPad Pro. Supposedly there's a bigger one coming, which is the one with the 3 cameras. A 14-inch iPad Pro, which is bigger.
When does it become a TV?
Than the screen. That's just a laptop. It's also, the iPad Pros are super fucking expensive and overpowered. They'll put like a desktop class crazy chip in there to do like iPad stuff. And they just recently put Final Cut and the shit that we edit with on there. And it's like, just make an all-in-one or a 2-in-1.
There's like drawing tablets and stuff that I see all the time that do whatever.
Yes.
Since everything's integrated on Apple, can you just put it all in one and like use the iPad as a drawing pad that draws and like connects to your? So
it connects to my computer, but it doesn't.
It doesn't work seamlessly like that.
It's seamless, but it's not a touchscreen. It acts as another monitor. It's called Sidecar.
So, but like I feel like that's such a easy thing for them to do.
Yes, it is.
I want to draw, but I want to look up there, so I'm just going to connect it there because like I use
in theory, right?
Like
There's something called
and shit like that.
I don't remember what it's called, but there's this thing where now if everything's running like a Apple branded chip, I can theoretically, right? I can take this and put this next to here, since this has a M1 chip and this has a A15 or whatever it is. I can draw something here, put it on the desktop, the home screen, and then take my mouse on this one, bring my mouse over from the computer onto here, literally click and drag, and it's just 1-in-1.
Oh.
It's not the same. It's convenient. I'll give it that, but it's not what you're looking for.
Okay.
Lastly, you got the iPhones. The iPhones are the big ones. You got the 15, 15 Plus. Supposedly, they're really not going to change. They're going to get the dynamic island, which is basically your hole punch, like what you have, only it moves.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Cosmetically, cameras are not going to look any different, just a bit bigger. The Pro is supposedly going to be made of titanium. So it's going to be lighter. Yeah, the price is probably going to go up.
Way more. Yeah.
The camera bump is just going to get much bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to take up basically the whole back. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's supposedly going to be a bit more rounded, so it's more comfortable in the hand. Instead of the solid, it's going to be rectangular, but it's the corners will be rounded, so it doesn't like, people say it cuts into your hand, but it doesn't.
Why are we trying to make the cameras bigger? I know we want
letting in more light.
I know we want them better and everything, but like, isn't the point of the technology and everything that we have on these phones like to make everything as small as possible, but keep that quality? So why not make the quality better with the size you have and learn how to like
optimize?
Yeah,
it's a lot of that is post editing. Like Google and their camera suite is really good for that. They use the same sensor for like I think 5 or 6 years. A lot of it is in post. And a lot of it, but it's grabbing people.
Can you take photos on Apple in RAW?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could record in RAW, it's just it takes up far too much storage.
Okay.
You also need to do something to grab people, right? I can come to you and be like,
put arms on
if you are the average consumer, and I come to you and I go, hey, the new iPhone's coming out. You go, awesome. I go, the software makes it look better, but the phone looks literally the same. It's a bit more expensive and it's a bit lighter. You go, That sounds stupid. Why am I going to do that? But if I come to you and I say, oh, look, the cameras are bigger, so that way the photos look better, people go, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
I'll totally buy it. Better photos, that's exactly what I want. I don't agree with it. I just want a new phone because I put the beta on this phone and my battery is destroyed.
I love that I do the same thing every single time I buy a new phone. I'm like, It's got a better camera. I can't wait to take so many awesome photos with it. And then the first month, I'm like, bang, 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 bang. And then after that, I'm like, yeah, I could take a photo of this. And like, I just don't give a fuck anymore because you don't even realize the difference.
Exactly.
And what's crazy is the pictures are the same as like video game graphics, where you take the photo and you're like, this is the crispest, cleanest thing I've ever fucking seen. And then you look at it when you get the new phone and you're like, man, that was fucking garbage.
That's not what I meant to say. I usually get the cheaper version of the phone, but I specifically got the Pro for better photo video shit in this situation. When I get the new one, I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah. But I'm going to try to get as much storage as possible so I can avoid buying an actual mirrorless camera.
I'm pretty sure I bought this for the 5G. And you know what's
They gotcha.
horrible?
The connection?
The 5G needs 5G towers.
Yes.
The first year and a half I had this phone, I got 5G a third of the time.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time it wasn't there. And then at my job,
Well, there's two different types of 5G.
They were building a 5G tower or doing something or like editing one of the towers so that I could have that. I then just didn't have a connection at my job for like 6 months until they fixed it. And now 5G everywhere works amazingly. But when it first came out, I'm like, I'm going to spend extra money on this phone to make sure I get 5G.
Yes.
And it was a shit show.
There's two different types of 5G. But that was also like pandemic and post-pandemic where all they were talking about was 5G.
Yeah.
All the people were freaking out about the 5G. They were like, oh my God, no, Elon Musk. Funny. No, there's two different types of 5G. The one that we actually use most of the time is not necessarily what it was supposed to be. The actual good 5G, you have to be like next to a tower to use, and then in public, you'll get like 500 download.
Okay.
Doesn't really exist too much.
Oh.
Now they're working on 6G. Well, they won't be out for a couple years. The iPhone SE Plus, which is basically just the one with the big bezels, the one that's like this big.
Okay.
The Plus, they just want to make it bigger.
Okay.
So the Apple Watch. Usual shit. Apple Watch Series 9, because it's turning 10 this year. The software update looks phenomenal, because I already have it. Battery life is supposedly going to get better, and a new chip. Aesthetically, it will be the same. The screen's going to be the same. It'll probably be the same price, whatever. The Ultra, the more expensive $800 one, will supposedly have a new color option and the same new chip.
So worth the price.
Yeah. Well, an updated chip, I'm fine with, or maybe they can lower the price a little bit.
I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yes.
But it's talking about chips. Did you see that test footage of the new Small Soldiers thing? They used like Unreal Engine to make like a test thing of Small Soldiers, that movie from the 90s, but like with updated graphics and everything.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But it was just the chips that reminded me of that. Okay, is that the last one you want to talk about? Because I see one more on this list that I know you're definitely just...
The HomePod with the screen?
No, the car.
No, I don't care about the car.
No?
I think it's stupid.
So you're telling me if Apple comes out with a car...
Brendan, it's going to cost like $60,000, okay? Just because it's an Apple car doesn't mean it's a great car.
Yeah.
HomePod with a screen I would totally buy. But
we have this new Apple car that's electric, but you need to buy our electric car plug in order to charge it. You can't use any of the Tesla things. Yeah. And you know what? Fuck you. It doesn't have windows because you need to buy those too.
Timmy's laughing. I could say if we're talking about me, I know you were saying you're going to buy the watch. Probably
going to get it for Christmas.
Yes.
Because like that's just, I'm not dropping 500 on that. I just got a new car. I just got the new...
You know what you could do too? Oh no, but you pay off your phone.
For the car? What?
No, I mean you pay off your phone. You don't do the trade-in like I do.
I pay off the phone and then I trade it in. So I still get like 100 or 200 for it.
Yeah.
But I also I only have like 100 or 200 left on there. Yeah. So like I could just pay that off right now.
You know what you could do is finesse?
Trading the phone for the watch.
No. I'm saying usually when the new phones come out is when they have the crazy deals. Yeah. So like you could go to, a lot of times Verizon or T-Mobile will do it where they're like, oh, if you trade in any iPhone from the iPhone 6 to now, we'll give you up to $800 towards your new phone.
Bullshit.
Well, but then that's how they get you because then they're like...
It's divided up by your months.
Exactly.
And then they
you have to pay it off over the 2 years. If you pay it off earlier than the deal or whatever is null and void. I don't like doing that stuff because I think it's... That's,
so if I pay off my phone early, like they're just going to be like, you owe us another like 30 fucking bucks?
Yeah. It depends on the deal that you had at the
start.
I
don't know what it is. I do have T-Mobile, though.
I like T-Mobile. We swapped to them last July.
You know what I don't like? They put my loan for the phone through TD.
Oh.
And, like, it doesn't save, like, your passwords or anything. They're like, oh, here's the link for your like statement for this month so you can see how much you have, but it's not clickable. Yeah. So you have to copy the link, then put it in the thing.
It's 2023, dude. Why do most bank operating systems suck, or most bank apps?
Because they don't
give a shit.
No, they're not worried. They're not worried about the customer. With everything they do, which is why the fucking like prices of everything, like interest rates and everything, are just to fuck you. So like they're not gonna make that easy either. But that's
so I'm gonna buy a watch.
Yeah,
definitively, because the battery life on this thing is going down.
Yeah,
I think the battery health is like 89% and it's less than a year old.
Yeah.
For context, it should be at like 94 by the end of the year.
Battery on this is holding up way better than my old one.
Mm.
It's also, I had a very big problem with oils from my like fingers and everything fucking up the screens, and even if I had a screen protector on there, like it would wear down the screen protector and then it still wouldn't register with the thumb like recognition. And this is the first one I've had where that hasn't happened. And I don't know if it's because they made it better or I'm just older, so like I'm less dirty.
Protector?
I don't know.
It could be that one. Because I mean, I'm sure you had a Galaxy S7 years ago, right? I remember you went from the 7 to the 10 plus.
7 to 10, yeah, and then
plus,
this one.
And then 21.
Yeah.
21.
And like they jumped a whole bunch of numbers to like keep up with Apple, but Apple actually has like 15, right?
They jumped
like,
numbers for the sake of
the X and the 10 and like, you know,
like I mean
fancy.
Samsung jumped because of the year. They had the S10 and then they were like, oh, it's 2020, S20, S21, S22. Now it's Apple. Technically, the iPhone 15 is probably going to be the 20 or the 21.
Okay.
But you have years like the 6S or the 10S or whatever it is. Little shit like that.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna upgrade the phone. What I was saying is because I hate the way the carriers can fuck around with you. I just always try to do the year, like 1 year into your 2 year contract. You just go to them, you give them the phone, you pay the taxes, they give you a new phone.
As much as they fuck you, you know who fucks you so much harder?
Bank.
No.
Car companies.
What?
Car companies?
No, the guys who sell the fucking cases outside of the stores. You're always just like, I'm just not going to pay $80 for this OtterBox inside of like the T-Mobile or whatever. I'm going to go out there and they're going to give me a better deal. They're like, yeah, for that screen protector, it's going to be like $34 in your firstborn. And then you're going to get this hard case and we're going to put it on for you, which we're going to charge you an extra $20 for. But this is a good deal. Don't you worry about it.
We're not going to tell you, but we're going to put on the screen protector.
To the point of where like they got the kiosk in the mall, which are like high school kids.
Those kiosks.
And like, but they're cheaper than the other guy.
I think Amazon is a corporate hell that is destroying small businesses around the world.
But as a consumer, you love them.
I don't feel bad for going to Amazon, buying these. You notice how Timmy and I have the same case? It's because the day that we got them, I bought them, made sure we had them. $20 because they were on sale per phone. Okay. I do not mind going to Amazon.
Those are thin OtterBoxes.
Yeah, but they're very protective. I don't mind doing that, buying those, and then never going to those fucking kiosks, because if you're an asshole, I don't want to fucking support you financially or anything. So if you're going to come at me, I'm just going to never buy anything from you and watch you go out of business.
Except they won't,
because you got the stupid people who don't pay attention to anything.
The overhead is ridiculous. Hey, I'm going to buy all these cases for like $5, sell them to you for $80, and I'm going to be the only guy who works here 24/7. So you're not spending any money.
And it's the same people that fix your fucking screen.
Yeah.
Now you.
But like I said, those high school kids doing it slightly cheaper, but the same quality of work that the other guys are fucking doing. So you might as well go to them if you don't want to spend the money. Like you have Apple, so like you have Apple Care and you have whatever. Yeah. I'm not going to T-Mobile to fix my phone.
No, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
You just go to one of the other guys.
So, but fucking hate them.
Okay, so we're gonna call it here.
Yeah.
Samsung event. Are you excited? Do you really give a shit?
I'm gonna watch it solely because of the watch. But.
Go ahead. I caught him and he crawled out of my fingers.
I'm going to watch it because I'm excited about the watch, but it's also like I don't have someone not disturb the hour.
Yes, it is.
I forgot what I was going to say.
My phone's on Do Not Disturb, but the other two aren't.
Shit. Well, having said that.
Are you going to buy the Galaxy Watch?
Yeah, we talked about that. I'm probably going to get it for Christmas.
These are the closing notes.
Not going to buy a Flip. Probably going to buy a new phone when they announce it, but I will wait and see because this one, like I said, is holding up a little bit better than I thought it was. Can't wait to see that Apple car one day. The
I don't give a shit about the
show that it will be. So that's it. You close this out because I
subscribe.
That's what he said.
Ring the ding-a-ling bell. Ring my.
Yes. What?
Bye.
Oh, bye.